Hello. Welcome back again to the Focus Group. This is the home of good vibe and news, trending stories, and all that you're going to want to see this very day. This is the 15th of August. The year is 2023. Here are the Focus Studios. We are great. We came back on live yesterday, and we promised you we're going to have a wonderful time moving forward from yesterday evening. That was at around 9 hapo hivyo. And I promised you a very interesting story that I told you yesterday was just an introduction, and we're going to come back today and continue with the story. My name is Thuku Moita. This is the Focus Group. Welcome back again. As I introduced earlier, this is the home of good vibe trending stories. Yes. So now, the Focus Group was yesterday, me personally, the Focus Group, I'm sorry. I reviewed the newspapers and I came across these stories of Kenya, Somali entanglement, and Kenya, Tanzania entanglement, and all these other entanglements that are there, including maandamano. But most especially what caught my eye was the Tanzania story and the boots on the ground that is in Somali and Congo. It is a good thing that His Excellency, the retired president, Honorable His Excellency Emilio Mwai Kibaki, he took our troops to Somalia for stability and to even bring the country to normalcy. But now, 12 years down the line and 3 presidents after, that is 2 presidents after, that is His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, the current president, we've seen a huge chunk of amount go down. I won't say go down the drain, but yes, it's gone down the drain because there's no much. I do not think it's either there's not disclosure of what we've achieved or what we've attained in Somali, or the amount of money that has been spent, 52 billion, I think, so I believe, that have been spent in 12 years in that particular country, then I don't think we've seen quite clearly what it has, our money is worth. Because if you're going to continue spending the amount of billions that you're spending in these wars, in this peace-making trips, we are sending troops. They're coming back with a huge amount of PTSDs. They're coming back with levels of not insanity, but emotional damage from that country. But I'm wondering, is it worth it? Because Kenya right now is going through financial crisis. And we are about to sign to law a finance act that is going to see Kenyans really struggle in the coming years. It is quite a very good thing. And I'm saying this time and again, the Finance Act is one of the most beautiful things that the president is going to enact in this country. It is going to bring a lot of stability in this country. It's going to bring PCA wanasemaga kujitegemea. And it is our motto also as Kenyans, kulipa ushuru ndio kujitegemea, and I believe this is a very nice move. But are we going to see this money being channeled back to activities that are not very beneficial to this country? I understand a nation is only as strong as its security forces, but I think we're stretching it a bit further when we have to send people to war, spending all these monies, and I'm not sure if you're getting our money's worth. For 12 years, we've had soldiers being sent to Somali. First of all, the emotional damage that is caused to these soldiers. I was watching a video of a cadet that was invited by the Weekend Edition, that is Dr. Kingori. And he was giving a narrative of how he was very much an upright person before he went to Somalia. And after he came from Somalia, there's this amount of emotional disorganization that was there in his life. not considering the amount of money these people spend out there. Now, my question being, are we really doing any good to this country? Being out there, it might be not war, but yes, chaos is caused there. It might be peace building, but you're not going to raise a gun and shoot at a soldier and a soldier just sits pretty there waiting for the bullet. No, there are still going to be fights. There's still going to be war. There is war in Somalia. There was war in Somalia. And we are still having our soldiers there. And I'm wondering is it really worth it? With this financial times crisis that you're going through right now, is it still worth it? That's a question for you. And I really hope that there is someone out there who would answer this question, because I think it's about time that we packed and came back home. Yes, I think it is. If we are not going to see our money's worth, if you're not going to have disclosure of what really are you looking for in Somalia besides making peace in Somalia, what are we Kenyans gaining from that? Because I think it's about time we ask that question. I know everybody is afraid because of the human rights, everything. Yes, it's about time we ask the question. What are we gaining from our boots on the ground in Somalia? Are we gaining anything from it? Are we just providing? Because it is you and me who's paying for that strip. It is you and me who's buying that bullet. It is you and me who's even losing our brothers and sisters who've been deployed there. It's nobody else. It is me and you, the Kenyans, who are losing. It is us who are losing money. It is us who are losing our friends, our brothers, our sisters who've gone there as soldiers. It is me and you who's losing. So I think it only lies with us. It is only right and fair for us to get answers, full disclosure that, is there anything we're benefiting from the war in Somalia? Are we benefiting from anything from the soldiers who've been sent to DRC? Because very soon, probably you're going to see war there. I'm not saying they're going to be war, but yes, we've sent these people in a very unfriendly location, our brothers and sisters, with our money following them. The same money that this country does not have. So yes, are we benefiting from anything there? Yes, that's a question. The handles are at Thuku Moita Thuku. That is Thuku space Moita space Thuku on Facebook and every other social media handle that is there. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You can only find me at Thuku Moita Thuku and Sharon Paul SP. That is on Facebook, and Sharon Paul Media on YouTube. The second very most interesting story. I'm only going to be here for a very short time. It's morning. We still have to go to our hustles. Yes. I see it's Satatu na 38. That is on 15th August. The year is 2023. And on my second very most interesting conversation is between Kenya and Tanzania. You see on this block, the EAC block, Kenya and Tanzania hold the mantle. These are the biggest economies in this region. And since the former president, the late president of Tanzania, may the Lord rest his soul in peace, Magufuli and Kenya, I don't think they started off on a very nice pace. I think there was a bit of rockiness which caused chaos within our borders and the trade within them. Kenya and Tanzania share the most busy borders. Tanzania being a very huge country with a very huge population, I only think it is in the best interest of this country to have a good business relationship with them. And also, Tanzania, on the reciprocate, I think it is only fair. It is very good for them to have a very good trade relationship with us. And it was very sad to see that yesterday, reading on the newspapers that Tanzania have to go all the way pale chini mpaka Egypt for them to do pale juu, is it juu ama chini juu, to do business with Egypt, simply because of some a bit of misunderstanding here and there. We have a new president, and I think it is only fair that Her Excellency Suluhu Hassan come into good terms with our current president. And the political atmosphere does not help at all. So please, I think it is only fair that they come to an understanding whereby these two countries can come to a very good, amicable relationship so we can have a go-ahead with these businesses. Because a loss for both of the countries is a loss for us, wananchi. It only trickles down to us. These people will only sit in Serena and the very other fancy hotels and have their dinners, have their breakfast, discussing on how they're going to do trades, to people who are back at home, me now and you, who cannot even afford the breakfast. So yes, I think it is only fair that they put their political differences aside, because this thing is all political. If you go a bit deeper to the grassroots, to the roots of it and see, this is only caused by politics. And I think if they can only put aside the politics, they can try and come up with very amicable solutions to this. Because the indifferences is causing a lot of pain to business people. Tanzania and Kenya, Tanzania being one of the largest holders of the coastal lines. Yeah, I know Somali is that, but Somali's port is not beneficial to anyone right now. So Tanzania, that leaves Tanzania and Kenya. And I think Kenya is doing a very wonderful job. The LAPSSET projects in Lamu and also in Mombasa. So I believe if only we can hold hands with Tanzania, we can make mileage that is very huge. And I'm wondering what all these Yala people we elected are doing out there if this is not their mandate to bring reconciliations to these countries. I'm not saying Kanini Kega and the rest should be brought back home, but I'm saying it is within their mandates to make sure that there is amicable and reconciliation. If there is any differences within these countries, that falls within their jurisdiction. So yes, if they're not working, then I think it is only fair for them to be shown the door back home. We never chase them away, so I mean, Kanini Kega was removed from his seat in Kieni, so I don't see much harm if he was brought back home and given some induction on how to run the businesses out there also. We are not hating on anybody, I'm just saying, yes. So yes, I believe those are two issues that I believed. I'm not an expert, but I believe these issues needed to be addressed in the most urgency, most urgent ways they can be approached at. The other thing I wanted to discuss, and this is the last thing I'm discussing today. I have a flu. I always have a flu. I do not know why. See the corona, ingekuwa imepona. So yes, the other thing I wanted to discuss is about World Bank. World Bank and the Western world at large, that is Europe and the US, these people have held us hostage for the longest time ever. And the last one of it, the most disgusting one of all, is the Ugandan remarks that were made the other day. You see, as His Excellency, the President William Samoei Ruto said, he said it very plainly and in a very, how do I put this? In a very nice way. He said that we as Africans are going to respect the Westerners and their traditions. So if you're an American, if you are from Europe and you're gay, you can reside in this country without nobody asking you a question. That is your tradition, and nobody cares about your business. Nobody is going to interfere with your businesses. That is your business. That is your traditions. If you want other men to be your husband, if you want other women to be you, how does that apply? Women to women? I do not know. That is your business, and nobody cares about that. But we as Africans have our traditions, and we need to live by them. You do not see Kenyans, you do not see Africans going to Europe, going to the US, and telling them to have ugali for supper. If you do not have ugali for supper, then you cannot do your business in Kenya, or in Africa. You do not see us going to them, telling them that you have to put on vitenges, or you have to put on kanzus for you to be able to operate in Africa. You do not see us going to the US, or going to Europe, and telling them, trying to inflict all these African traditions to them, and then giving them instructions that if you do not adhere to this, then this is going to happen to you. You do not see us doing that. But here you have Europeans and Americans who are trying to shove things through our throats. I saw them telling Ugandans that they're going to not to get loan facilities simply because the president, the Ugandan president, His Excellency Yoweri Museveni, decided to put a red line across same gender marriages and same, you know what I mean, the gayism. So this is very disturbing to us. And I'm asking myself this question, when does this stop? Because I believe that the president, His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, came up with a very good strategy, and he spoke their languages, a language they can understand, that it is about time that Africa, and to speak frankly, the sub-Saharan countries, came to the table and decided their own decisions, made their own decisions, go to the table and made the same contributions that the rest of the world makes. It is about time we start being children, being run by the cane all the time. Here's a carrot, here's the take. If you're not going to take this, then you're going to be whipped. No. It is about time that we earn the same respect that the other grown-ups are getting on the table. It is not always that you come to us with a cane telling us if you do not do this, then this is going to happen to you. We are Africans, and we are here to make our own decisions. So if the president of Uganda does not want gayism in his country, then he does not want gayism in his country, because Uganda is not traditionally a gay country. Kenya is not as well. So if us being gays is the only way that you're going to get help from you, then the sleeve doesn't hold quite well, because, I mean, we see Americans in this country who do business and do it quite well. We see a lot of foreigners in this country. And there's actually a topic I'm going to bring to the table, but that's a conversation of for another day. We've seen Americans, we've seen other foreigners bring their traditions to this country. We've seen them live by their rules in this country, and nobody questions that. Nobody tells them, no, you're bringing other stuff. Nobody questions that. But when Africa tries to make a stand for what they believe in, then there's someone else standing behind them with a whip, ready to whip them, to put them in line. We always go to France, we always go to Britain, demanding compensation for the amount of damage that they left in these African countries when they colonized us. Well, in modern day today, leave alone 50 years ago, I'm talking about today, they're still making decisions for us. if we are claiming compensation for things that happened 60 years ago, why don't we just make sure that these people, and I'm speaking to our leaders, because there's absolutely nothing that me and you can do, but our leaders can go ahead and try and do something. Stopping getting compensations for us from 50 years ago. Get us dignity right now. Make sure just we get the dignity that we deserve right now. Yes. That is it for today, and I think these are issues that needs broader conversation. I'm going to look for experts to come and chambua this today. Another day, it's not today, but there is one conversation that I'm going to have that does not need an expert. This is a conversation that I'm going to have tomorrow. I'm just going to introduce it to you, and this is corporate. I do not know if they call it espionage or what they call it. In my own words, they just call it corporate dictatorship. We talk about how African countries have dictators, but we have corporate dictators who do not want to leave the show. They say even a good Mugithi musician knows when to leave the stage. I want to give an example of one Michael Joseph who sat who sat in Safaricom for sijui how many years. Yes, he was the father of this thing, but yes, he was supposed to leave the stage long enough. Holding on to it does not do it any good. It did not have to take political intervention for him to leave the stage. He should have left the stage long ago and left it to other people to manage the stage. Not try to shoot pool with a company that is set on foreign. Anyway, that's a story for another day. I'm going to have that conversation tomorrow. And I'm not only talking about that particular company. There's so many other companies in this country that you'll have people shifting from CEOs getting membership to boards so they can control backstage up or how the company operates. And that is something that needs to be eradicated in this country. We talk about political dictatorship. We should talk about corporate dictatorship also. And that is something that is hurting our economy, because these companies, these very huge corporates dictate a very huge chunk of our economy. And people trying to hold on to it so they can benefit themselves is what is hurting this country. I'm out.